0 o'clock. Donald O'Connor talks about his true feelings about Donna Reed. Donald O'Connor was born Donald David Dixon, Ronald O'Connor on August 28, 1925 in Chicago, Illinois. O'Connor was literally born into show business. His parents were vaudeville performers, and from an early age, he was exposed to the dazzling, demanding world of live entertainment, 027. By the time he was just a toddler, Donald was already appearing on stage with his family, learning the art of timing, rhythm, and audience connection that would define his career. The O'Connors were a traveling family, performing across the country, often living out of suitcases. But this nomadic life shaped Donald's deep understanding of showmanship and his ability to adapt to any situation on stage or screen. 054. O'Connor's early life was not without hardship. The Great Depression and the itinerant nature of vaudeville meant the family often struggled financially. Tragedy struck when several of Donald's siblings died young, and his father passed away when Donald was just a boy. These early losses gave him a quiet emotional depth beneath his cheerful exterior. 116. Yet instead of turning bitter, he poured his emotions into performing. He found joy in making people laugh and escape their troubles, perhaps because he knew so well what it meant to live through hardship. This mixture of heart and humor would later make his performances feel so alive and genuine. Donald's entry into film came at a young age when Universal Pictures recognized his natural charisma and energy. 144. He began appearing in movies as a child actor in the 1930s, quickly standing out for his bright eyes and confident screen presence. But it wasn't until the 1940s that O'Connor became a true star. During World War II, he appeared in a series of lighthearted musical comedies that gave audiences a welcome escape from the uncertainty of the times. 208. His singing, dancing, and comedic timing drew comparisons to legends like Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. Yet O'Connor brought something uniquely his own, a combination of boyish enthusiasm and slapstick brilliance that made him irresistible to watch. Of course, the role that forever cemented Donald O'Connor's place in cinematic history came in 1952 with Singing in the Rain. Starring alongside Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds, 238, O'Connor delivered a performance for the ages as Cosmo Brown, the witty and loyal sidekick with boundless energy and impeccable comedic timing. His unforgettable number, Make the Him Laugh, remains one of the most iconic scenes in film history. A masterclass in physical comedy, dance precision, and sheer endurance. O'Connor performed that number with such intensity that it reportedly sent him to the hospital for exhaustion afterward. 308. Yet on screen, he made it look effortless, a pure expression of joy and showmanship that still delights audiences over 70 years later. Following Singing in the Rain, O'Connor continued to charm audiences in the 1950s and 1960s with roles in films like Francis the Talking Mule and Call Me Madam, showcasing his versatility as both a comedian and leading man. 335. The Francis series, though lighter fare, became immensely popular and made O'Connor a household name. Even as the Hollywood musical began to fade in popularity, O'Connor remained active, transitioning to television and stage performances. He hosted The Donald O'Connor Show and appeared on numerous variety programs where his quick wit and improvisational skills shone just as brightly as his dancing feet had on the silver screen. 403. As he aged, O'Connor never lost his spark. He continued performing well into his later years, appearing in stage productions, television specials, and interviews where he shared memories of Hollywood's golden age. Even as his health declined, he retained his humor and sense of gratitude, once joking that he had entertained himself all his life. 426. His final public appearances revealed a man proud of his legacy, but still modest, still the same down-to-earth entertainer who just wanted to make people smile. Donald O'Connor's personal life, though often overshadowed by his extraordinary talent as a dancer, singer, and comedian, offers a fascinating window into the man behind the laughter. 450. His marriages reveal both his longing for stability and the challenges he faced living under the intense pressure of Hollywood's bright lights and demanding schedules. O'Connor's first marriage was to Gwen Carter in 1944, a union that began during one of the most turbulent yet productive times in his early career. At the time, O'Connor was a young star on the rise at Universal Pictures, best known for his musical comedies and lighthearted charm. 520. Gwen Carter, a striking and talented woman in her own right, entered his life when he was gaining fame through a string of successful musical films. Their marriage represented, at least initially, a moment of grounding in the fast-moving world of show business. However, as O'Connor's career flourished, so did the stresses that came with constant public exposure and the grueling demands of film production. 545. The couple's relationship reportedly struggled under the weight of long separations and the difficulty of maintaining a private life amid Hollywood's constant scrutiny. After a decade together, they divorced in 1954, marking the end of O'Connor's first attempt to balance a personal relationship with the unpredictable rhythm of a show business. Career. 606. 2 years later, in 1956, O'Connor found love again when he married Gloria Noble, an actress and secretary who would become the steadying presence he so badly needed. This marriage turned out to be one of the most enduring and defining relationships of his life. Gloria Noble was known for her beauty, warmth, and unwavering support for her husband, whose career had both spectacular highs and deeply personal lows. 636. She stood by him as he transitioned from film stardom in the 1940s and 1950s to the challenges of maintaining relevance in the entertainment industry as television began to dominate. Together, they raised a family, which brought O'Connor a sense of peace that had eluded him during his first marriage. Gloria's influence on Donald was profound. 656. While he was known to be a perfectionist on set, driven by an almost manic energy that produced some of the most dazzling dance numbers in Hollywood history, such as his unforgettable Make the Hem Laugh routine and Singing in the Rain. She provided the calm and emotional balance he often lacked. Friends and colleagues noted that Gloria had a grounding effect on Donald, helping him manage his bouts of exhaustion and depression, which stemmed from years of overwork and the pressure to continually deliver top-tier performances. 728. Their marriage lasted until Gloria's passing in 2001, and O'Connor often spoke of her with deep affection and gratitude in later interviews, acknowledging her as his true partner in both life and spirit. Throughout his long and varied career, Donald O'Connor worked with many talented actresses, but few left as lasting an impression on him as Donna Reed. 752. The two had known each other during the golden years of Hollywood when both were carving out their places in the entertainment world. O'Connor as a dazzling song and dance man, and Reed as one of the most poised and beautiful actresses of her generation. When O'Connor spoke about Reed later in life, his words carried warmth, admiration, and a sense of nostalgia for a Hollywood that once valued grace, class, and genuine decency. 820. Donna was one of the kindest, most sincere people I ever met in this business. O'Connor once said she didn't play the Hollywood game. She was the real thing. Their paths crossed several times at industry events and social gatherings, and O'Connor often recalled how Reed stood out in a crowd, not because she was loud or attention-seeking, but because of her quiet confidence. 848. He admired her calm, her professionalism, and the way she carried herself with dignity both on and off the screen. You could always tell Donna was raised with good values, he reflected. She treated everyone the same, from the studio head to the stagehand. That kind of humility is rare in show business. Auconer's respect for Reed grew even deeper when he saw her performances, 9/12. He was particularly impressed by her Oscar-winning role in From Here to Eternity, 1953, where she shed her girl-next-door image and proved her dramatic range. When I saw her in From Here to Eternity, I couldn't believe it was the same sweet Donna I'd seen on the MGM lot years before. He said, she had that strength, that fire, 936. You saw something deeper behind those eyes. It took real courage for her to take that part, and she nailed it to O'Connor. Reed represented the kind of artist who refused to be boxed in, who took chances and kept evolving even when Hollywood wanted her to stay in one lane. He also appreciated the way she balanced her professional and personal life, something he admitted he often struggled with. 10:01. Reed's long marriage to producer Tony Owen and her devotion to their children made a strong impression on him. I admired the way she put her family first, Auconer confessed. Most of us in this business, we get caught up in the lights and the applause. But Donna always knew what really mattered. She had her priorities straight, 10/24, that sense of groundedness, he believed, made her performances all the more authentic. You could feel her goodness in every role she played. It wasn't just acting. It was who she was. Behind the cameras, Auconer described Reed as a consummate professional, punctual, prepared, and unfailingly courteous. You never heard her complain, he recalled, 10:46. If there was a problem on set, Donna would just smile and find a way to make it better. She had this calming presence that made everyone want to do tea.